professional performance. It's what big teams do, innit? It's what big teams do up and down the years. We've seen these kind of teams up and down the years who are proper teams, elite teams, do these kind of performances where they play really well, defend really well, and they even get a little bit of luck. You get a bit of luck because you play really well. So yeah, it was a great performance from Arsenal. We dominated them in the first half. They couldn't live with Saka. Saka was having a party. Him and Odegaard were taking turns. They were doing their thing on the right hand side. All the players down that right hand side. That was Tottenham's left. And yeah, it was a terrible goal to concede for the first goal. And because Arsenal dominating the ball. So when we're dominating the ball and we're 1-0 up, I mean, that means Tottenham's got to really come out. It's terrible from Lloris. What do you think of Lloris? Do you think I have a bit of sympathy for him because
No,
what else? What else? It shouldn't go in, but it's just unlucky, isn't it? It's unlucky for
no,
me.
because that's not unlucky. That's just a bozo moment because the ball's coming from across. It wasn't like it was a shot coming open goal.
Mm.
If Saka had a shot towards the goal, open goal, and he parried it into the goal, then you could say unlucky. It happens. But this is from across from the side. From the side. So even if he was struggling to catch it, he could have just parried it out for a corner or pushed it back in where the defenders were to clear it out anyways. Because when you see there's like three Spurs defenders in front of him on his right, and then it's just the corner flag basically to his left. So
Mm.
if you're really struggling, just punch it back out, punch it back to sender. Somehow, some
Yeah, I
way,
agree.
slip through, punch it into the net. That's crazy.
I agree. I think
He's
that's
cost Tottenham a couple games this season. It's unforgivable.
yeah. I think that first goal was Lloris's fault. But yeah, that whole first half from Tottenham was terrible. The main thing I saw was they had a high line, but they weren't pressing. Like Partey had the freedom of the whole midfield. That's why he was able to play that ball to Saka. Saka down the right hand side. Sessegnon wasn't putting enough pressure on him. He was just letting
Mm.
him do his thing, acting like he didn't have a right foot. But Saka showed him, I got 2 feet, you know. I'm not 1
Mm.
foot. Yeah, got that decent ball in, and yeah, that goal was Lloris's fault in my eyes. Like you said, El Caps, he should have just returned it back to sender. His positioning, I think it was more of his hands than his positioning.
I
Mm.
think his positioning was poor because where he was, yeah, he was too. That ball coming in, he should have been past the goal post. So even if he did that mistake, that would have gone out for a corner. But he was right, just past the goalpost inside the net. So when he
Yeah,
parried it, it had nowhere to go
really.
but net.
But yeah, I've seen slippage in Lloris. He's been slipping, hasn't been looking the same
He's been that way for a while
for
for
a while.
me.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
been poor, man. They need to get rid of him.
they
And
do.
if
He's
you
costing them
really,
games.
if you really look at it, Tottenham's team, they they're not that good. They're good at what they do, and a lot of the players are really old. So it's like even if they got to replace a few players other than Release and Lloris, in my opinion.
Tottenham
Yeah,
needs to get a creative midfielder. They need a midfielder that can pass the ball between the lines because that was what they were begging for.
yeah,
Remember we
You
said it
saw
at the
half
start
the
of the season.
yeah,
we said it, and you could see it all throughout the second half as well when they start playing a little bit better. Who was it? Was it Bentacle was like their most creative passer? More times just passing side to side, side to side. They had no one trying to pass it through the middle. It was
yeah,
just crazy.
yeah. The threats were coming from out wide. Sessegnon and Kulu, they look most fretful in the second half. So yeah, like you said, we've been saying it all season. They need a creative midfielder, and that squad, like they spent a decent amount of money, but
But
they just been M's to get where they want to be.
that's what you get when you have Conte as your manager. His taste in players ain't the best, and he wants the robotic players that can do the same things that. I mean, they could do all the basics really well. They're solid, but they're all like there's no flair about them. He wouldn't want to play like a lightweight, like Odegaard. He'll never pick a Odegaard to be in his team. He'd rather have big, tall players who could defend well, head things out, cross the ball, get in the box. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know how many of these signings were his signings though. Well, we know Spence because he said Spence. That's not.
Yeah, like you know who he's signing because of who he plays. Like I don't think he rates Basuma,
Yeah,
but
Basile.
he doesn't rate Basuma one bit.
Yeah, Basuma. I don't think that was his signing
Yeah,
because that other guy saw that he played. to me, you might as well play Basuma. They're the same player.
I saw Saw on the team. I was like, who?
Yeah.
What? But
It's weird. I think Conte cost Spurs the game. I'm going to blame it fully on Conte because, first of all, Sessegnon, you don't play him enough and then you play him in a North London derby. That's crazy. He was awful all game, Sessegnon, and Saka had him on flipping spit roast, cooking him all game, cooking him. And a lot of Spurs' best chances fell to him as well, and he just poor execution. Remember that one where I think Kane played Sessegnon through? He could have just hit that with his right, but went for his left and hit across the keeper. And Ramsdale had a decent save. And there's another one where Sessegnon had the ball and just volleyed it into like row Z. And then eventually took him off, 75th minute. Those subs should have come on after 55th minute. You're 2-0 down at home. You're not going to wait another 20 minutes before you make changes. You need to make them changes earlier.
Yeah.
And go
I
for
agree.
it.
Yeah, Richarlison should have came on earlier.
yeah, but Richarlison for who? That's another attack. You need more midfielders. You see what I'm trying to say? You would have had Kulu. Like you would have just had Kulu, Kane, Son, and Richarlison. I think you need a midfielder just to like get on the ball a bit because they will dominate.
But then you would have probably if you had Richarlison, Kane could have dropped into more of a 10 role, had Richarlison as a more focal point.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they could have done that. But yeah, even that what you were saying, SB, get someone on the wall. They don't have that profile of player in the team anyway. So
No.
the best one is Kane. But yeah, they need a whole squad overhaul. Before I guess we talk about the good of Arsenal. Let's get into Son.
Synonymous.
Our Son's best days behind him. Should Spurs move on from him?
Behind him.
Let me get this thing,
he is
man.
old. He's like what 31 now? Like 31 now, I think. He is kind of old.
30, 31.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not that his best days are behind him. Son is a purple patch player, and I've been saying this all season. He's a purple patch bandit, and apart from last season where he played well last season. Every season has been at Spurs. He goes through maybe 8 or 9 games where he's sick, and he'll get all his goals in them 9 games. He'll get all his goals and assists in them 9 games, and then the rest of the games he's missing. And we've been saying that for years. He's a purple patch player. When he hits that purple patch here, we're calling him Sonaldo. But then most of the time he's missing. And this season he had a purple patch maybe 2 games. His usual 8 games of purple patch didn't last that long. He had maybe 2-3 good games, and he's ghosting again. So yeah, it's not that his best days are behind him. He's just not as good as people try to make out that he is. He's not. And I've been saying it. Yeah, he's a good player, but he's not world class. Son is not world class for me.
I hear that, but like you can't. You have to be a good player to be Golden Boot last season, and to hold a record of with him and Kane the most assists between 2 players. Like you have to be some sort of good.
He had a good season last season. I mean, Nani was like PFA Player of the Year for United at 2010. Was he a great player? And he was purple patch as well.
And the reason why you say purple patch player is because he doesn't do enough of the basics well enough. He can't really dribble that well. He can't really pass that well. It's not really creative. He hasn't really got IFL pass. Like if he drops into midfield, he's doing the basics, he's doing like sideways passes. Whereas if you look at someone like Kane now, even if he drops into midfield, he can thread a perfect ball, switch the ball really well. He can do a lot of things, Kane. Son now, if he's not shooting for you, if he's not getting onto the end of things, what's he really doing? He's not beating his man as well. He's not that fast anymore. He used to be lightning quick, but he isn't that fast anymore. So he's not really beating the man. So I feel like if you get the bet, if you play to his strengths, he's really, really good player. But if you don't, it's hard to see what he's really good at.
The thing with Sonia, Spurs will never sell him. Not right now. Commercially, doesn't make sense for them because he's so big in the Asian market. For them to sell him, it's crazy. They wouldn't do it.
That's true, but I think they should look for competition in that position because right now he's untouchable, and for me, he hasn't justified that yet. It may be in the past, but now,
but
I think competition needs to be had in that position.
They did buy Richarlison though, so
yeah, Richarlison was supposed to be competition, but he ain't been that.
60 M's on Richarlison. Maybe what you're saying is they should have probably got 2 players for the 60 mil, and like probably got two 40 mil players if they added sorry, 2 35 mil players. If they added what, just 10 mil to that budget, Richarlison money, to have a bit more depth in there. Because outside of
I'm
Richarlison, they ain't got no one.
I'm
Yeah.
going to throw in something else. I'm going to say I'm going to use Rashidi as an example. Maybe he's a manager.
Wait, you're gonna use who as an example?
Rashidi. Oliver Rashidi, bruv. Because Rashidi. Remember last
He hasn't,
couple years, yeah.
he hasn't got his name back now.
No, man, he's still Rashidi, man. Until the end of the season, yeah. He's still Rashidi. Fam, I'm going to use Rashidi till he... Fam, I need a full season from that guy before he gets his name back. But Rashidi, under progressive manager, has been a revelation this season for United. And Son in the past was very good. Remember under Poch, him and Kane were crazy. So Son under a football playing manager will be good, but Conte is not a football playing manager. Conte is 5-3-2, defensive minded. That's it. I want to defend. I'm not trying to concede. I want to defend. I want robots in my team. I want to kill Flair. Just do your job. That's Conte. So maybe if Conte leaves and Spurs bring in a more progressive manager, maybe we'll see Son again. Because I don't think Son is as bad as to suggest that Spurs need to sell him. But I think maybe the manager and Conte is kind of hindering his style of play as well. That's just...
Yeah, I just think they can't afford to rely on him anymore because he's not going to produce enough for Spurs to be like, okay, Son will give us this. You can do that with Kane, but not with Son anymore. But Spurs, they're in limbo right now because other teams are getting new owners and are spending big money. Spurs, right now, they're going to find it difficult to compete with other teams like the Newcastles, Liverpool when they get a new owner, Man U looking to get new owners.
A-Rod money.
Arsenal spend these days. So yeah, Spurs, it could be it's a important period for them right now. They need to decide where they're going to move, what they're going to do, because if they keep doing what they're doing, they're only going to go down.
But with Spurs, I thought they'd play away from actually being, because I've just thought to myself here, even when they had Ericsson playing for Spurs, it allowed Son to be more free. You had someone who could pass and find you, and you can receive the ball further up the pitch and do maximum damage. Kane and Son starting positions are quite deep these days. But imagine, yeah, you got a Cam playing you up further up the pitch and releasing you closer to the goal. You're more effective and you've got more energy for maximum damage. Not when you're running from like your own penalty box to try and get up to the box, already halfway tired, and you get the ball. You're trying to do damage then. So they need a Cam desperately. Spurs need a Cam desperately, because when they had Ericsson, they were good. Even in Ndombele, when they had him, they were decent. When they had, remember them days when they had Dembele?
Yeah.
They need a progressive passer.
I think they have a bit of a problem because they've really committed to. First of all, they got the problem because Kane's in his prime. You can't waste Kane's prime. Second of all, they commit to Conte and his style of football, his style of players. And how can you potentially, if you get rid of Conte, you go to a more progressive manager? How do you then tell? I wouldn't touch Poch again because Poch hasn't proven anything to anybody. What's he
He's
proven?
proven to Spurs that he could get into finals.
He hasn't proven. To me, he hasn't proven anything to get that opportunity again. I don't think he's done. What did he prove away from Spurs?
Look at away from Spurs, but we're talking about him going back to Spurs, and he's done all his best work at Spurs. And remember what he did to Spurs with limited funds. He had no money for like 2-3 seasons, and he did well. So imagine now Tottenham, new stadium, they're a bit more open to spending because they realise competition's a bit higher. A bit more investment, he might do a thing. And he's a manager that brought out the best football in Spurs.
Best case scenario, but even if you bring in Poch, it might take us still another year and a half for him just to get things working, get all the Conte players out, some players in. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
A year and a half is better than keeping Conte on, and if you keep Conte on, you're not getting anywhere.
But the thing is, today's Premier League environment is different to when he was last Spurs manager. Look at Newcastle, Liverpool, Man United are back. apparently.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And and all these teams are spending big money, so it's not going to be easy for Poch to come in and get back to the level they were before. It's not going to be easy at all.
Well, let's talk
Yeah,
about
man.
Arsenal, man.
Yeah, let's
Let's
get into
give
Arsenal.
Arsenal the credit, man.
Let's just get straight into it. SB are Arsenal
Odegaard.
title contenders.
Hey, top four is the goal.
No.
Just got,
That's not. Are you guys tied to contenders?
especially. Let me explain. Top four.
Madam
Okay,
Speaker.
let me explain. Let me explain. So, especially after last season's poor ending, we lost. Well, I think 6 out of our last 12 with this young team. It's paramount that we just get top four this year. We get into the Champions League. We cannot hear Europa League music anymore. I've heard it for 5 years. I cannot hear Europa League music no more. I need the beautiful sound in the Champions League. And if we get that, I'll be happy. I'll be over the moon. And we have more ability to really secure players across the globe. So I'm just trying to get top four.
Bruv, the lie detector says you're bullshitting.
You know what? I think all Arsenal fans in all Arsenal fan group chats, they have like a joint statement. They say, if anyone asks you if Arsenal title contenders, you must read
this is a statement you must say, bro.
How can you title contenders? You haven't even played. There's still like 20 games left.
No, you're title contenders because
20 games left.
Okay,
No,
let me
but the
ask
thing
you:
is-
City title contenders.
it's not even about just the game. Like, we've seen everyone's full package. We know what everyone's about.
So are you saying Arsenal title contenders? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Arsenal
your
title
favourites.
contenders, we see what everyone's capable of doing, and it looks like Arsenal are the best. Oh my lord, I can't even say it. Arsenal are the best team in the country right now.
Yes, as of right now, Arsenal are the best team in the country. They are.
Unless Man City go and do something crazy in the transfer window, it doesn't seem like they're going to do it. But if they do that, then yeah, then I'll be like, okay, Man City. But if they go into the second half of the season with this same squad, it's Arsenal's to lose.
But you say that, but we're one party injury away from being a much worse side.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, depth.
Well, and I thought if we miss
injury,
yeah, in the Odegaard, Saka, and party injury from being a normal side, a regular side, in my opinion. So, we're playing well on thin ice, so it's very delicate. So I'm just saying, if we finish top four, I'll be so happy with that. Honestly,
here's what I think is bull jive because you guys are 8 points ahead. Yeah, equal amount of games played with Man City. If you guys miss out on the league, you are going to be upset. Imagine you guys ain't won the league since 2004. You're 8 points clear of City. You're telling me you'd be happy to finish fourth from top. Right now, you guys are first with 8 points clear. Yeah, if you guys finish fourth, would you be happy?
Honestly, I'd be happy with
fourth,
third and above.
No, I said fourth. You said top four.
I want to finish at least top three. At least top three.
Well, top three is title contender. First, second, third. No, you get gold, bronze, silver, and bronze.
Was Chelsea title contender last year? No, they weren't.
Well, they came through last minute, man. They were out of it. It was two team race. Right now, it's you and City's to lose.
Yeah, City's expected to win. They've won 4 at the last 5. Spent the most money. They report I don't know how they reported the highest revenue, highest profits in the whole of Europe. That sports washing over there.
They
move efficient.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, just be humble. But we dominated the game.
Yeah, that's definitely the Arsenal going to win the league group chat talk.
I tell you,
just be humble. Be humble.
The real talk, yeah. If Partey scored that goal, I would have ran at my house naked.
That volley.
Oh my god.
Techers.
And it's not that just that. It was the whole. We were just dominating them. It was just easy. Go cutting through them and then bang.
Yeah, and you see how he's getting booed as well. The sharp, the haters real quick.
Question.
Arsenal is so impressive.
Where do you man rate Saka as wingers in the Prem? Is he the best? Is that wild to say?
For me, he's the best. I can't lie. He's the best.
Rashidi's up there.
Yeah. Rashidi.
Salah hasn't played well this year.
Actually, yeah, no, Salah, I forgot about him.
No, Saka's definitely top 3.
Salah, I put Salah number 1. and then Saka number 2.
Saka's top 3. You can, if you say he's number 1, it's not a hill I'm gonna die on. His performances have been that good that if you were to say to me Saka's the best winger in the league, I'm not going to fight you over it. He's been very good. He's been very good, and all credit to him. All credit to him. He's the Euros. He's put beyond the disappointment of the Euros. He's stepped up. He's improved year on year, and we're to the point where we're talking about is he the best winger in the league? So yeah, kudos to him, man. I'm not going to fight you over that.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, the guy always like. I'm also surprised at how good he's even got myself, and I watch him every week, and I feel like every single step of the way as he's got better, he's had comparisons to every young English player. He first started with Callum Hudson-Odoi a couple of years ago.
Blew that out of the water.
Out of the water. He also got get compared to Sancho, of course, Foden. Everyone's get compared to everyone.
Bro,
Mount.
He left them all in the dust.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So
And
yeah,
The thing,
go on.
kudos to him. Kudos to him because he's fought for adversity, and right now he's on top.
yeah, and I think the thing with him, the thing I like about him is that he can use both feet.
He doesn't mind going either way.
Yeah, he's a threat with both feet. So, like, perfect example is a goal. Beat the player with his left, come in with his right, jink past the defender, and then hit the ball with his right, and then keeper made a mistake. So he can use it. So he's a problem with both feet.
The crazy thing about it is, for me, is that he still, for me, plays within himself.
Yeah, there's still room for improvement.
Like, if he really wanted to go and be like, I want to destroy this defender today, he can just do it on will.
Remember Malacia, what he did to him, United versus Arsenal? Oh,
yeah. He could really, if he wanted to, decide to make it a tough day for any defender. So
yeah, man. Arsenal are actually really lucky because how much was Saka cost on the open market? How much would Martinelli cost? How much would Smith Rowe
I mean,
cost?
if Mudryk cost 90 million, 100 million, then yeah, Saka, you're looking at 130.